Hey, if you're new here but enjoying the content, please subscribe and ring that bell. Thanks. Well, how do you do? Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I am Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of this wacky comic book industry. 26 years now. Started in 1993 with the creation of Cyberfrog, and we're 3 days into 2019. How do you like that? I'm also the illustrator of future Canadian Prime Minister, and by the way, alleged Patreon supplanter, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. I drew the drawings in that book. World's most charming, elegant, and humble man. Great big Star Wars fan, which is why I find this headline to be perplexing. Or I would find it to be perplexing were I not an absolute expert in SJWs. And of course, SJWs always double down. You see this right here? 2018 was not a great year for Star Wars. That's the first line of this article. No, so let's double down on that. 2019. Let's do the same thing, but do it twice as much and louder. That is good. Now, was it not 4 months ago that I recall CEO of Disney Bob Iger crying his way through an interview with Vanity Fair? And I do believe he was weeping when he gave this interview to Vanity Fair. He said, oh my God, I don't know what happened to Star Wars. Maybe it was too much too soon. We hired, one of the burlesque dancers from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom to come in and run the entire Star Wars franchise, and she ran it right into the ground. And I don't know why, and I don't know who's doing this, and and then he said, we're gonna slow things down. We're gonna stop putting out so many Star Wars movies. And then he just started shaking, convulsing on the ground, weeping, and Vanity Fair felt bad for him and didn't want to ask him any more questions. I do want to ask you more questions. Why didn't you fire Kathleen Kennedy, Mr. Iger, when you had a chance? Now it's clear that Kathleen Kennedy was hired in shame and disgrace. She was rehired in shame and disgrace. There was no great big, enormous announcement from Disney about giving her another 3 years. It was done quietly, and this information was leaked to the media, most likely by the Kennedy loyalists within Lucasfilm, who, I don't know, have cozied up to this woman and her Forces Female t-shirt. Let me take an aside on that for one quick second. These people who try to debunk Kennedy's Forces Female t-shirt photograph, by saying, guys, it was an ad for Nike, it wasn't, Lucasfilms. Why would they hire douchebags, excuse my language, why would they hire Kathleen Kennedy to model a t-shirt? Who is Kathleen Kennedy, if not the president of Lucasfilm? The Forces Female very specifically meant, it's Star Wars. There was a nice double meaning. Everybody got what it meant. The fact that it was for Nike and it was a brand of Nike shoe, it means absolutely nothing. This is not a defense. This does not counter the argument that Kathleen Kennedy was wearing that shirt as a statement of feminism and her intentions for Star Wars, when she very, very clearly had weirdo ideas, weirdo identity politic ideas for where to take Star Wars. And that was her problem. Don't you recall? I quote to her the great Han Solo, who said third wave feminism and intersectionality is no match for a good blaster at your side, kid. I think that's how I remember him saying it. I'm not really sure. Get your stupid politics out of Star Wars. Get your ridiculous SJW cultist mentality out of our fantasy films, and everything's going to be fine, Bob. Bob Iger, there's no limit to the number of Star Wars movies or product that we will consume as loyal fans, as long as it isn't aimed at converting us to your cult or annoying us. One of the two. I mean, if you just make good Star Wars stuff, we will support it. And I am certainly a generous voice for Star Wars fandom. Now, one thing that you can't do is repeat 2018 by insulting your fans. When we actually tell you this is not good, we don't like this really sucks, and we tell you angrily, and we spend an entire year trying to get through to you, and you respond by calling us toxic fans. That's just not going to work in 2019. We need to be heard. You need to actually say, we hear you, we understand, we're going to make the changes that you want, or, we're going to do this instead, or something like that. But to just whip around with your weirdo army of your coterie of just the Jason Wards and the Brian Youngs and the Bobby Roberts and the Pablo Hidalgos, of your industry, of your brand, and just whipping fans into this, I don't know, hey, you guys are toxic fans. That it's going to upset people. It's going to upset people. Let's try to do less of that in 2019. Let's try to do less of actually blaming the customers, and a little bit more of the customer is always right. Please, good creative minds, let's do good stuff for Star Wars. All right, so we go on with this article here, this peculiar article. Solo was a box office disappointment. Yes, it was. That resulted in Disney and Lucasfilm rethinking their plans for future spin-offs. Evidently not really. They might have eliminated some of their future spin-offs that were rumored, that were leaked to the media, but they have plenty of Star Wars spin-offs. They've got their dumb Rogue One story coming out with Andor Cassian, whatever his name is. And they've got The Mandalorian, which might be good. I'm going to give The Mandalorian a chance. You've got to respect Jon Favreau and Boba Fett, and the idea that maybe some more bounty hunters and familiar faces will show up. I'd like IG-88 to be in it, please. All right. So rethinking their plans for future spin-offs, there was the lingering and, in my opinion, wrong-headed, he says parenthetically. I can't even fan backlash against The Last Jedi. See, this is the problem. If you think that the fan backlash against The Last Jedi was wrong-headed, I can't trust anything else that you say in this article. When you say that the fan backlash against The Last Jedi was wrong-headed, and then you say that 2019 is shaping up to be the biggest year for Star Wars ever, what exactly are you saying? What exactly are you impending? You fool. The Last Jedi, and while Battlefront 2 saw a steady stream of DLC, its reputation will forever be tainted by the microtransactions controversy that saw an immense amount of bad press. Lucasfilm just milking the fans. But with all of that behind us, is it behind us? I'm not sure that it is. 2019 might be shaping up to be the biggest year for the franchise yet. The main course will obviously be Episode 9, the final film in Disney's sequel trilogy that'll wrap up the Skywalker saga. Really bad idea here. And reveal what happens to Rey, Finn, and Poe. Well, you know what? Honestly, if they're not launched headfirst into a stump grinder, I don't really care. And the rest of the gang. Oh my God. Just let's talk more about Princess Leia. Let's talk more about Lando Calrissian. Again, Rod of the Hutt. Let's finish off Luke Skywalker. And these rumors of Darth Vader somehow being in the movie, I support it for now until we see what they do with it. I think that Darth Vader should be in the movie. I can't vouch for what these people are actually going to do with Darth Vader, do to him in the movie, but that's a good move to actually put him in there as long as you do it the right way, do it properly. There's a lot riding on the pick too, especially since the studio is promising a tasteful posthumous performance by Carrie Fisher. My God. Oh, that's going to be wacky. That is going to be the thing that I think most people are looking for in Star Wars Episode 9. I think people are going to go there and say, how did you do this exactly? And by the way, Todd Fisher is talking about how there's a lot of footage. Todd Fisher has been coming out to the media saying there's more footage than you think that there is, and they found a pretty good way of saying goodbye to Princess Leia using that footage. Okay, I await the film. That releases on December 20th, but before then we're in for a wealth of new Star Wars experiences. This is true. One of the most exciting will be the opening of Galaxy's Edge, Disney's new Star Wars theme park, which aims to make people feel as if they've stepped into the movies, allowing guests to pilot the Millennium Falcon. By the way, people are speculating that the Millennium Falcon is going to come to its final resting place at the end of Star Wars Episode 9, in the same in the same spot as the environment that they're building for the Galaxy's Edge theme park. So in other words, you're going to see the Millennium Falcon just come to a kind of crash. They're going to put it up in blocks in someone's front yard, metaphorically, in this Star Wars movie. And then, that same location is where you're going to be able to visit the Millennium Falcon in Disney World. And that's a great idea, honestly. It's a good idea. I'm supportive of Galaxy's Edge. All right, Disney's new Star Wars theme park, which aims to make people... All right, allowing guests to pilot the Millennium Falcon. Infiltrate the First Order. I don't want to. I want to infiltrate and destroy the Empire. I don't know the First Order. I don't care about them. They're teenagers. They're weirdos. They're posers. And hang out in a seedy cantina. That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, I want to hang out at the cantina, Mos Eisley. I want to hang out at Jabba's palace. I've said that over and over again. Disney has unveiled their concepts for the rides as well, and it's looking like an indispensable experience for fans. I will be there. I will show you. Then, of course, there are the TV shows. If we're lucky, winter of 2019, we'll see The Mandalorian premiering on Disney+, which means that I've got to actually subscribe. The show's had a hell of a lot of resources poured into it. Yes, it's like, was it like $10 million an episode? I believe that's the budget on that show. Boasted impressive cast and should give us a peek into the immediate aftermath of the Empire's defeat in Return of the Jedi. That's exciting. We'll also have the surprise resurrection of the Clone Wars during the summer. That makes Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers very happy, which will allow the creators to wrap up several storylines left dangling after the show's abrupt cancellation in 2012. And then, of course, January we'll see the final episodes of the Resistance's first season. On top of that, we got Jedi Fallen Order. That's a single-player action-adventure game. And then a bunch of... We got Battle... and what else? Age of Republic. Why no mention of Cassian Andor in this? Just The Mandalorian. Is Cassian Andor not coming out in 2019? Or what? Yeah, I think actually I heard that they're going to actually start filming it in November of 2019. So it's still a ways off, and I guess that show is not going to premiere until 2020. Look, I don't know what to say. You guys, if you double down on the same things, the same mistakes as you made in 2018, you can expect the same result except twice as hard. You can't beat customers into submission. You can't just ignore their complaints and scream at them louder and then do the same thing but harder and expect that anything is going to change. Indeed, our criticism is just going to get louder. It's going to get louder. It's going to get more pronounced. More people are going to join us as you irritate what's left of your flagging fan base. Now, Solo should have been a great big wake-up call to you, but I fear that you're in denial right now and you think that it only failed to make any money at all. In fact, it lost $80 million because you released it in May instead of December. No, indeed. It had to do with the fans trying to teach you something. It had to do with a lot of the crazy mistakes that you've made that Kathleen Kennedy is responsible for. And you're going to have to eventually open your eyes and realize, a repeat, except larger, of 2018 is going to be a repeat of 2018, except larger. Okay? Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.